Hey guys, I just want to talk real quick about this watch, the Orient Triton, and how this watch compares to the Ray 2, and a couple the highlights that I noticed and the bad things about it that I noticed. So this watch feels definitely beefier. It's a little bigger and thicker than the Ray 2. It feels a little more refined than the Ray 2. The build quality and just the refinement of the bezel, for example, the bezel right here, it's a little bit better done than the Ray 2. The polishing seems a little better also. It has a better work on the case back, and of course, well, this watch is an ISO Japanese certified. It has a power reserve that is very useful, and the first thing that comes to my mind is the bezel action. The bezel action is just like the other Seiko divers. A lot of people like it, and I personally like it. I think it's actually the best thing. It's smooth, it's buttery, and it just feels good. It has a big crown on the 4 o'clock position, and it's really easy to grip, and the feel inside the gears, or when you pull the crown out to the first and second position, feels a lot more crisp and defined than the Ray 2. A problem that I had with the Ray 2 was that the crown was too small, too difficult to grip, and when you tried to screw it back in, it felt kind of insecure. I didn't know if I was getting the thread or not. This one, it's better, but it's still a little bit, you have to really push it to try to get the thread. So, but for this price point, it's really good. You feel it. You feel the weight of the watch in your wrist. It's a little heavy, and it's a little big, but still, I mean, I have very skinny wrists. I don't think there's anybody else out there that has skinnier wrists than me in this watch community. So I'm gonna show you how it wears like this. I'm not gonna do it all the way, but you can see, I mean, the lugs are kind of sticking up just a little bit, but it definitely wears okay. I thought it was gonna be like super big for my wrist, because everybody says, oh, it's too big. It's not. I mean, it's still proportional to the wrist, you know. So it's not bad, and it's honestly, it's amazing watch for the price point. You know, it looks good, and the build quality is good. It's solid, and but unfortunately, a deal breaker for me is that when the minute hand hits the 12-hour marker, the hour hand does not perfectly align with the hour marker. And I think this is on purpose. I read in a lot of online resources that this is done on purpose. It's called a gear slack, to prevent causing damage to the some inside of the watch, some parts inside of the watch. Because the diver, so they wanted it to make it shock resistant and make it tough. So that's why they did it on purpose. So it's something I've seen a lot in other Orient divers, and also in a lot of Seiko divers. So I guess it's something normal around divers. But some other stuff is that the chapter ring is well aligned, so this watch definitely beats Seiko for chapter ring alignments, but it's sometimes a little tiny. For example, if you look right here at the 6-hour marker, you can see it's kind of a little disaligned. So, but overall, everything else is aligned. All the markers. So I'm seriously very picky about alignments and everywhere. So I think everything else it's well and fairly aligned. Okay, this it's an aluminum bezel, sapphire crystal, polished steel case, screw down case back, screw down crown, really beefy spring bars, drill holes. This is very good, and very amazing loom. It has a covered lump hip, and it has the same movement of that the Orient saturation diver uses, which is the 40N5. And I guess this is a very good movement that you usually get in a watch worth $2,000, which is the saturation diver, and you have the same movement in this watch. I think this is a very amazing watch for the money, seriously. Of course it has some negative things like any other watch. I think there's no perfect watch. So by the way, it is a 43, and it's 43, and this is like 13 or 14. It's pretty thick, and a 50 millimeter luck to luck with a 22 right here. Alright guys, well, let me know if you have any comments, any suggestions, and I'll see you in the next one.